Hello dear learners, well, it gives me pleasure that we meet again to continue with our first book, Readings 1, and happily today we are going to finalize the work. We are going to do the last session in this book, but for a bit of change today I will try to brainstorm you in this last story in our first book, Readings 1. The story is entitled Help by Prowse. The story lies in 6 chapters. They are as follows. So the name of the book, Help. The first chapter entitled Every Morning. Well, it looks like a salutation or greetings, but actually every morning is a title of a story. When we read it in depth, we see that, or we find that every morning is a story that's very nice story, and it actually won in Hollywood to be filmed. Chapter 2 is entitled The Letter. Just to brief you with this chapter, or the global idea behind this chapter, is that Teresa is actually a woman. She is a lawyer, and she is the wife of Frank. And Frank actually is a successful writer, but he is not active. He is a kind of a lazy man, and usually his wife asks him, yes, to move around, to find a job, to collect money. So his wife Teresa has written a letter and sent it to Hollywood so that hopefully the story every morning to win and to be filmed, so that they can get money, money out of this story. So this is what is entitled The Letter. What's about the letter? Chapter 3 is entitled Mel Parks. Mel Parks is a guy. Mel Park is a guy who's responsible, of Hollywood. Okay, Mel Park, as I've just said, is a guy who is responsible for collecting stories, successful stories, to be filmed, in Hollywood. Chapter 4 is entitled Chip. Chip actually is a virtual character whose job actually in the story is to give help to Frank, because Frank is not so skillful in using computer. He is not a successful guy in driving a car, so he is given some sort of facilities by Mel Park. He is actually awarded a car, a brand new car, and a computer, but unfortunately he wasn't a successful guy in using computer. So when he touched on the screen, appeared Chip and helps him with the help that he wants. That is why this story is entitled Help, you see. And chapter 5 is Help. Help is actually what every kind of help is given by Chip, or direction of Chip to Frank to use the computer is supposed to be used, and drive a car is supposed to be driven. Last chapter, Teresa comes back. As I've just said at the beginning of this screening the chapters, Teresa is the wife of Frank. She is a lawyer. Well, she's hard worker, and her work usually takes her all the day long. We can say it is an 8 to 5 job. It's an 8 to 5 job. She starts at 8 o'clock and finishes at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Now, as I've just said, I want to brief you that we are going to take a new technique in presenting this story. I'm going to actually brainstorm you by asking questions. So we are going to do this story in asking these questions. So displaying the questions, thinking of the question, how to find answer to the question can tell you the story. So the first question is, who is Teresa? Who is Teresa in this story that entitled Help? The last story in readings 1 is entitled Help by Philip. And the first question is that who is Teresa? Just to preview, Teresa is a lady. She was a lawyer. Her husband's name is Frank. And Frank, well, seems to be a kind of an idle guy. Very lazy. He's not active. But he has a good mentality to write stories. He wrote many stories. But one of them, the famous story that he has written, is entitled Morning. That is why his wife sent a letter together with a copy of the story to Hollywood. Hopefully that this story might win and to be filmed so that they can get money out of this newcomers. The second question is, what is she? What kinds of job is Teresa doing? What is she? She is referring to Teresa. She is a pronoun what refers to Teresa. What is she? What's her job? What's she doing? As I've just said, she is a lawyer. And who is her husband? I've answered this already. Who is her husband? Her husband is Frank. He is a writer, a successful writer, but actually he doesn't discover himself that he is a successful writer unless his wife is sent a letter and accepted by Hollywood. He couldn't discover that he is or was a successful writer. Is Teresa, question number 4. Question number 4. Is Teresa a sort of a materialistic woman? Is Teresa a sort of a materialistic woman? That means, does she love money a lot? Yes, because she usually shake up her husband to go and collect some money to find some job. Question 5. Who did Teresa send the book every morning to? Who did Teresa send the book every morning to? As I've just said when we talk about the 6th chapter of the book, every morning is the title of a story. It is a story within a story. It is a story within a story. So Teresa liked this story much, and then she sent it to Hollywood to be filmed. Question number 6. What sort of man is Frank? What sort of man is Frank? Again, this question is answered automatically. Well, when I talked about who has her husband. Well, with question 7, is that I've told you that this story, well, we've changed our technique a little bit, that we are going to, well, tell it in terms of questions. Now we did up to question 6, and now we start afresh with question 7. Question 7 is read like that. What did the postman carry them? Them refer to Frank and Teresa. So the postman rang the bell of the door, and then Frank opened the door or answered the bell, and then the postman handed him a letter. In a letter, his story every morning actually succeeded, in to be filmed. So he turned happy, and then he is asked to meet a guy by name Mel Park at a hotel, at a certain hotel. So question number 8. Who is Mel Parks? Who is Mel Parks? Mel Parks is a guy who is actually sorted out the stories and found that every morning story is the winner. And then he rang after the letter that is sent by the post, through the post, that he asked Frank to meet him at a certain hotel, and Frank actually went and met him, and actually he handed him $100,000 and actually increased it to $2,000 to $200,000. This is not all the story. There are other facilities to come. Well, but the condition that he asked him to finish the story is actually unfinished. Every morning when it is read, it is unfinished. So Mel Parks insisted upon having it finished very quickly. And Frank told him, I write in handwriting, so I don't have a computer, so I will go in finishing it very slowly. And actually Mel Parks answered him by going to send him a computer. And also he told him that I'm not so efficient and skillful man in writing in computer. Again, he is given that virtual character chip to help him with whatever he wants help in. Question 9. What kind of help did Mel Parks give to Frank? Well, beside the computer, beside the sum of money that is collected, he is also given a brand new car, and he usually to touch the screen, and then Chip appeared on the screen and tell him what kind of help that he wants, and she answered him and giving him the help that he needs. Question 10. Is Frank efficient in using computer? Well, automatically again we answer this question well through answering some previous questions. Is Frank efficient in using computer? Frank isn't that efficient in using computer. Besides that, he is a sort of lazy man. He is not that active. He has to use his computer. That is why he is given this virtual help through Chip. Question 11. What news does the letter carry to Frank? The letter that is handed by the postman actually told him that the story every morning when to be filmed. And chapter 12, what's Chip? What's Chip? Chip, as I have said just a minute ago, is a virtual character appeared on the screen to help Frank with whatever he wants to need to be helped on. So when he touched the screen, appeared the face and ask him, what help do you want? Then he, for example, he can say, I want help with my computer. It doesn't work efficiently. So Chip gives him the kind of help that he wants on the spot. Question number 13. What kind of things are given to Frank to finish his book every morning? He is awarded a lot of things: money, car, and computer. Question number 14. Did Frank able to finish his book properly? Did he able to finish his book properly? Actually, now the skeleton is out of the cupboard. The story, by the end of the story is that actually Chip finished the book for Frank, and not Frank himself has finished the book. So Chip has given him help to finish the book. Question number 15. Who had finished it for him? Just a minute ago I have answered this question. Chip, that virtual character, actually finished the book for Tom, because actually for two things. Mel Parks wanted it in a hurry, and actually Frank could be sort of as a bewildered guy because of this money, because of the car, because of the computer. He's got a little bit bewildered. He couldn't finish it efficiently. Now question number 16. Did Mel Parks like the ending of the story? Yeah, Mel Parks liked very much the ending of this story that is finished by this virtual character Chip. Question number 17. What kind of help is given to Frank? I've just mentioned that he is given a lot of things: money, car, computer, and the most important thing is that the help is given to him by Chip. this virtual character. Question number 18. How did he here refers to Frank. How did he or how did Frank show his happiness when he is told about the $200,000 and the car? Actually, he was very happy. He was very happy, and he nearly turned cold. Yes, when he heard this sum of money, and he actually thought of Teresa, his wife, how he's going to impart the news to his wife. Question number 19. What had happened in the end? What had happened in the end? Actually, in the end, the great incident that could be, or the prominent incident that can be seen, is that the way he drives his car, this new car, he drives it badly together, and he wants to get rid of chip and the computer itself. He wants to throw it well in the river, but unfortunately the car crashed there. The global question, the big question that could summarize or serve at the bottom line for the story, is it a true incident to Frank or just a dream? So this question can serve as a key to solve what has gone through this story. Is it a true incident, that of the car, of the computer that is want to be thrown in the river, or just a dream? Well, this question for you is to think over together with the other question when going through the reading, to read the story thoroughly. Try to answer these questions. Thank you, dear learners. Now we have come to the end of the book, Readings 1. Today, finishing this story, we finished actually Readings 1. Hopefully that we meet in a new book, Readings 2, Readings 3, Readings 4, Readings 5, Reading 6, and other books that in your domain. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for paying attention, and thanks for the staff of OUS TV. Thank you very much.